Yep.
Okay, so in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Rowe playing as the Imperial Guard, opening double scouts and then his engineer. So interesting, he does like to go for his scouts first. Not a common thing. And on the
It really
right-hand
isn't.
side, we have Tinfoilnecron playing as his customary Necrons. Opening first attack scarabs. That's the thing I've noticed he likes to do. He really likes to go super early with this. And if I didn't know any better, or didn't already know that they don't, I would have thought these guys would have played against each other quite a lot, because they're literally doing counter builds to each other.
It's quite interesting actually, because Necron usually likes to get in that first harass with his attack scarabs if he feels like he can work them. So, but with these conscripts around, I mean, it's gonna be a little tough.
He got some nice kills, but he wasn't able to finish off the squad, which is what he would have wanted.
Yep, exactly. The squad's just reinforcing itself now. Looks like it's coming in again.
What he ought to have done here, since the relic is a long capture, is kept the other squad with the top squad, and that way he could have shot them while he capped at the same time. Because this is going to be quite costly, losing all these conscripts. It's still best for him to cap the point, but it's going to cost him a few more conscripts than it needed.
Exactly, yep.
His Rough Riders come out now, and that's going to clean that up, but there you go, some good responsive play from Necrons, jumping straight out when he knows his prospects aren't good, and he's now harassing the other side. And this is just a single attack scarab squad. You know, we're used to seeing people just throwing them away once they get into a combat situation, but Tinfoil keeping them alive, making a lot of use out of these.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now we're seeing some counter aggression with the Rough Riders coming up in here. See what they can do here.
Two squads of Rough Riders trying to combat that Wraith, which is just ominously moving its way across the map.
Yeah, actually, there's two Wraiths running around here in the middle. Looks like they're going to the same spot.
They're looking to kill the engineer before he can build the expansion, or potentially decap the expansion. So what he needs to do is just give these Wraiths a merry goose chase and pretend to run away to the right hand side, towards the center. But it looks like Necron's not being fooled by the fighting or by any such attempts. He's just decapping the point.
No, yeah, absolutely. And these Wraiths are something you do not want to get into melee combat with. They just absolutely tear you up.
Definitely.
Although the Rough Riders seem to be doing decent damage, they take down one Wraith.
That's good. It's good to see from the guard. I wasn't expecting him to get a kill, actually.
Early push to power
neither.
was a little late.
And meanwhile, he has in fact killed a couple of amplification generators of these Rough Riders at the same time. And I believe, was that a Necron Lord? Yeah, Necron Lord is out and has forced them off. But
Yep,
these
the
Wraiths,
Necron Lord does drive him away.
the Wraith getting the decap is very good value.
Same on the Necron side, though. He's not able to catch many points here with these Rough Riders running around.
So I think right now, I'd give the guard a slight advantage here. Sorry, the Necron, a slight advantage here. As they haven't really lost any substantial amount of units. And they're getting map control even on the Imperial Guard side of things, capping up his relic.
Looks like these Rough Riders are trying to pick up some builders here. See? Looks like they will, too. Excellent. It takes a while to build builders for the Necron, so that is a nice pickup.
Mm. And it looks like he's bringing back the Rough Riders to defend, because a nasty rank 2 Necron Lord is going to be causing absolute hell for these guardsmen. Phasing himself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What he has right now, these conscripts and guardsmen are just going to get absolutely torn up.
Right now,
even with the Rough Riders, it's
literally
I don't think it's enough.
the ultimate tier 0 Necron army. Necron Lord ranked up a little bit, and some Wraiths. And that's all you need.
Absolutely.
But luckily the Rough Riders got the surround on that Wraith, and are getting the surround on the second. And are actually trading out quite well compared to what you would expect.
I'm quite surprised. I really expected Rough Riders to get slaughtered by Wraiths, but they seem to do a pretty decent job at killing them.
If they can get that surround with 4 or 5 Rough Riders stabbing at the same time, and they can do some really nice damage.
Only take me a moment.
But for an ordinary map, you'd expect to be getting a lot more than just 2 rec points. Whereas of course the Necrons don't need the rec points, so they're not really too set back by having to have map control. So I would definitely put them in favour on this game so far, despite the good trades.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. However, the Necron himself does not have that much power production going.
He doesn't. Off the back of this, he hasn't done a great deal of ecoing.
Exactly, so it's more even than it actually looks, to be honest.
I think
I
what
think
he's...
if IG manages to conserve enough resources to get to Chimeras, he might have a chance. But Tinfoil's plays with his Necron Lord are really good. He's a really good Necron player.
And you see what he's doing now is he's keeping the Imperial Guard in the base, and he's setting up fortifications outside. He's going to keep the Imperial Guard nice and poor, starve him of resources, and hope to kill him off in the mid-game.
That
Blade
aggressive Goss is going to cause problems as well.
Normally you definitely want to go for a heavy Gauss, because the regular cheap little Gauss isn't too good, but he's making this Gauss count by locking up the units in melee, and this is really not what Ro wants to see right now. He drops in the flayed ones, and I think the Necron Lord knows that he's going to have the better eco if he just keeps the guard player in his base, and that's what these seem to be designed to do. Some grenade use from the guard. And still, the Necron has still not ecoed since we last checked his base. He's just continuing to stack up his numbers of flayed ones. So he might be not throwing away his advantage, but not fully capitalizing on it.
If one unit can manage to get behind that Necron base, especially since he doesn't have that many turrets, he has no defenses actually, blows up that power generator, it will destroy the rest of those amplification generators, and his entire economy will be gone in one blow.
And I think Tinfoil perhaps not fully capitalizing on another situation, and that is that his Necron Lord has full health. Any Necron Lord on full health means you're not fully utilizing it. This guy wants to be engaging all the time that he can to keep on causing damage, because you can see he's got him to level 3, he's really invested in this. And that's probably why he hasn't been ecoing much further, is because he's just been upgrading the crap out of his Necron Lord. And honestly, I think he has the strength to push in and finish off the guard right now. He just doesn't realize it yet.
Yeah, I think he's a little scared of those plasma guns.
He's playing it perhaps too safe, which in itself is actually is a more dangerous decision than being aggressive.
Oh, but he was waiting for the attack scarabs, and he got that nice pounce, and just pretty much broke the morale of both those squads. And I feel like the Necron Lord should have definitely capitalized on that broken morale.
Yeah.
They were essentially doing no damage there.
And you see, he's still on full health, even now, despite that. So there's still plenty of more use to be gotten out of the Necron Lord. You can keep him in the fight all the way down until sort of the not the lower half of the red, but the top half of red health, and continue to use him.
Absolutely. And he has a nice teleport and a phase shift that pretty much guarantees his safety to be able to escape.
And what the guard player needs to do now is recognize the fact that his tank is out. This obelisk he's shooting at is not a valuable target. He needs to make use of this tank before anti-vehicle is out. He wants to get this as soon as possible straight to the enemy base before any kind of anti-vehicle is out. And he could decimate the Necron economy. So just having that presence of mind to think of the bigger picture and run his tank across the map. And he still has a chance in this.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Hog. If he were to go to his base right now with that Chimera assault tank, that would pretty much even out the game, and in fact throw the game into the guard's favor by quite a lot.
And a unit which is extremely underutilized, especially in UA, is the vanilla Imperial Guard Psyker. Has an ability called Soul Strip, and it's essentially the same as the Eldar Mind War. It's an anti-commander brain zapping psychic move that they do. And if you can get out a few psychers, once the Necron Lord has been fighting around for a bit and is on, let's say, yellow bar in terms of health, if you can get a few of those soul strips off that he's not expecting, you can give him in almost a single shot. So psychers right now could catch the Necron Lord off guard. But I think this is where the game will be won or lost. It's with this Chimera tank, how he uses this.
He seems like he has to use this in a defensive way, otherwise he will lose. But there's really not much of a difference being done with this Chimera tank blasting the Necron Lord.
In the current state of affairs, and with the Necron Lord's strength and teleporting ability, you're never going to kill it. So all the time you waste fighting it, the Necron loves. That's exactly what a Necron wants to see. He wants to see you putting all sorts of resources and time and effort into killing it just to not get the kill and have him teleport away. So feasibly fighting this guy is just not an option. It's far better to send the Chimera to the enemy base and just hold out and try and repair things.
Absolutely. And as a guard, he should feel more safer than other factions would, considering he can bunker down and hold out fairly well. Against a single unit like this, the Necron Lord will not do much damage to your base. That's what you need to understand as the guard player.
And I almost say it's gotten to the point now where it's too late for the guard player to potentially come back if he leaves this any longer. This Chimera needs to get across the map now. He still doesn't realize that Necron has no anti-vehicle out. In fact, I'd almost say it's quite greedy from Tinfoil not to have made anti-vehicle yet. He's banking on the fact that this Chimera isn't going to come straight into his base.
Absolutely. Even if he had built one heavy Gauss turret in his base, that would just end it right there for any sort of Chimera assault tank harass.
So yeah, I'm thinking, is there any further plan out of the guard? Could he potentially get Vindicators or anything like that? But nah, he's researching another conscript squad. He thinks that he can, or at least he's doing his best to try and kill this Necron Lord. He's going about it in the wrong kind of way.
Conscripts are definitely the wrong choice in this situation, I feel.
Absolutely. Conscripts
really
damage can barely outdo the healing of a Necron Lord. And this is where a lot of players will get frustrated and think that the Necrons are OP or too much or overly cheesy. And really, if they just had the presence of mind to be a little more aggressive themselves and just kite away from the Lord and actually really not try to fight him much, the Necron's going to feel hard done by himself. He's going to be running around trying to win the game, and he's going to not get much done. Whereas if you fight him like this, you'll give him exactly what he wants.
Absolutely. But I must say, this is an interesting play from Tinfoil, as he usually goes a much more defensive route with his Necron play. But this time he's absolutely doing the opposite, full-on aggression. But lots of money invested into the Necron Lord, and even building in front of the guard's base.
These wraiths just gradually killing off the remaining wreck points.
Oh, what do we see here? Is a Chimera assault tank finally going to make that key push?
There it is, a little
Mind saver.
too late. And a Gauss turret's already being prepared. Luckily for the Imperial Guard player, it's only a regular Gauss, it's not a heavy Gauss. So he could focus that down. And Immortal's not being constructed, so I think this play would have been good 5-10 minutes ago. It's a little late now, and you see just how quickly it ruins those generators. I mean, he's focused that down, and if he focuses that turret down, he'll kill that extremely quickly as well. And this is where Tinfoil's greed for not building Immortals, he's going to pay for that now. And the
if he could just get one of the plasma generators, it will ruin the Necron's economy. But it seems like the Scarabs are going to finish this Chimera off here. Maybe not. Okay, here we go.
And he is using the self-destruct ability on these low-tier generators to cause some of that damage. And meanwhile, on the guard side, I think that's game there. He's beginning to creep enough turrets into the area, so even if a new Chimera does come out, it's not going to get very far. And I think that's the end for the guard player.
So, yeah, he's cornered in his base.
He realized what he needed to do at the end, but it's far too little too late, I think, for
Absolutely.
the guard.
Quite unfortunate too, because he did recognize it, but live and learn.
And I mean, the cheek of Tinfoil for not building the anti-vehicle. He was really banking on the fact of that Chimera not coming across the map, and he still he managed to survive with minimal losses, even when it did. But had that come a little earlier, when Necrons were shorter on money, that could really hurt.
Absolutely. And if that Chimera had gotten a flamer out and just pushed in a little closer to one of those back power generators, well, might have been a different story.